mind just pretty much reiterate what I said Sunday night on that after studying the film and meeting with the players and moving on just about, you can point the finger at a specific thing that happened in the game, but it's really not it. It doesn't fix what the problem is. The problem is offensively playing good in spurts, but not having a winning performance. Not doing the specific things that it takes to dominate one side of the ball to the point to where it won the game. Same thing defensively. We came out in the second half and had some stops and played good, played with some energy, but then, that doesn't excuse, the 3 drives that happened in the first half, and then, the 8-minute drive that Louisville was able to, put up to close out the game. So, we're still learning how to play as a team. We're still learning how to dominate one side of the ball, which hadn't happened at this point, and we'll keep working at that. Cincinnati, is a team that, that has found ways to win. They've been in a bunch of close games. The one thing that stands out about them more than anything is the amount of effort that they play with. When you play with that kind of effort, good things happen. When you play with that kind of effort defensively, turnovers happen. They got their quarterback, Claris, is a guy that's got a ton of experience and that does an awesome job of playing a leadership role, of not turning the ball over and willing his team to be able to get victories. So it's going to be a challenge, as it is every week. It doesn't really matter who we line up against in the Big East. It's going to be a challenge. Everybody's pretty much got equal talent. Everybody's pretty much got equal facilities, and everybody's kind of doing the same thing. So we got to find a way to motivate our guys a little better than we did last week. We got to have guys step up and do what it takes to get the victory. Take some questions.
Talked about effort and intensity and that a few times, especially for in Cincinnati this week. Does that trump talent? If you get a team that's out there trying harder, does the team that tries harder typically win?
It gives you a chance. There's talented teams across the country that can go out there and play, average and still win. And there's only a few of them. There's not many. I mean, you're talking about, very, very few teams can line up that have just that much more talent, and regardless of what kind of effort can win the game. There's only a few of them. We're obviously not one of them, and we can. Thank you. We can. In order to win, we got to play with effort all the time. There was spurts last week where there was effort, but there wasn't a bunch of it. It didn't happen all the time. And typically, the team that plays with effort all the time in a league that has about the same amount of talent, then the team that's able to play with effort all the time is going to be the team that wins.
Is that just a mentality?
Yeah, and it's hard. It's obviously it's a mentality, and it's hard. You got to find ways to get your guys to do it, and that's our challenge this week. Our challenge is to get guys to play with effort and play with energy, and whatever we got to do to cultivate that, we got to find a way to do it. I've said that for all year. Our job as coaches is to get the guys ready to go, and it ultimately lands on my shoulders, but there's a whole bunch of people that are in this together.
You say that every week is the same game, same routine and everything, but this is a game that you obviously can't avoid those rules if you want to have any rest people or how do you approach that routine, the fact that you're 2 games behind them?
It's a lot like it was 2 weeks ago. When we got beat up at Syracuse and we came back and we challenged them and went to Rutgers and played good enough to win. It's a lot like that. It's our goal is to win the Big East, which we're hanging on to that hope. But we got to win this week in order for that to happen. But that doesn't change the fact of trying to, stay in a routine and do the same thing every week. What we're trying to obtain, as a program, with plan on being with for a long time and establishing the way it is all the time to the point to where this isn't about, thinking that we can get up one week and not get up the other week. The league that we're going through is full of a whole bunch of talented teams that play hard. And you got to learn the team that figures that out, regardless of the way it's been in the past years, team that figures out whether it's the conference win or not the conference win. I want to see the team that figures out you got to play to the best of your ability each week and you're going to get these teams.
I think that's pretty basic. I mean, how do you get that through to the guys? Do you feel like they should know that they have to play their best every single week?
No, I don't think that's the case right now. I think there's a lot of guys that just kind of show up and expect to win, based on winning 60 games in 6 years. And there's a whole bunch of people that think that way that haven't played it down around here. I think that's just part of success and getting guys to understand that regardless of the way it's been in the past, this is what reality is. And what we're facing right now is what reality is in college football. I mean, it happened, and I said this 2 weeks ago. It happens every week. The latest one is Northwestern going to Nebraska. Who would have put their money on Northwestern? And Pat Fitzgerald's a heck of a football coach, but that's the reality of college football right now. And the teams that are able to withstand that are the ones that win championships.
How much do you look at like individuals on the team? I mean, I know you guys obviously want to take responsibility as coaches, but what do you look for them in terms of building that chemistry and playing with each other?
Yeah, just buying in. They got to buy into what's being said from a head coach standpoint to a coordinator standpoint to a position coach standpoint. But it's not my team. It's their team. We do our best to organize it in a way to where we put them out there and put them in the best position we possibly can to play. And then it's really about how they play, which, we talk about all the time. We're all in this together. But our job is to put them in position to play, and then we've got to have guys that have enough invested into the program, that have enough to them, that step up and give their absolute best all the time. And what leaders do is they find and they pinpoint guys that aren't buying in and they slap them around at the point where they get them bought in.
Who are your leaders? Who are those guys you're looking to step up and slap some guys around?
They know who they are. They know who they are. That's something we talk about in our room. Those guys know who they are. And is it happening consistently? No, it's not.
It's definitely all year done almost nothing wrong. Or at least it seemed like it. Did he show himself to be human, or why did he drop a couple of passes in that game, the last game?
Yeah, human. It's nobody felt worse. Nobody felt worse than he did. He made 2 catches that I haven't seen made, period, in a long time. 2, and then he dropped 2 that were just given to him. But overall he's playing pretty good. Yeah, he's got to make those plays, but that it just happens. Justin Blackman's the best receiver in college football, and he fumbled again on the goal line. So is he human? I didn't think he was, but he's shown everybody is.
Danny, you mentioned the 60 wins in 6 years. This is maybe devil's advocate, but it seems that in the past, the other side has really, really gotten up for the West Virginia game, almost like Super Bowl thing. How hard is it to meet that if it still exists every week? Because you look at what Syracuse did one week, and then they just haven't had that same punch since then, and you wonder, is it because who they played the one week and who they didn't play the next 2?
Probably some truth to that. Probably some truth to that for a variety of reasons. But real good teams can handle that. Real good teams with with good schemes and tremendous leaders, from coaches on down, are the teams that can handle that and have enough to you to be able to get up for it every week and find ways to win. And that takes 3 sides of the ball, and it takes a whole bunch of people that are in it for the same reasons and want nothing else but for everybody else to be successful. So, yeah, and I've been talking about that with the guys this week already, and we'll continue, too, that, everybody needs to be in it together, and we may go to Cincinnati with 55 guys. I don't know, but 55 guys are going to want to play together, and they're going to want to win the game together.
What did you like about your team before Rutgers, based on not before Rutgers, based on the Cincinnati game, Connecticut game? Try again. What did you like before you guys went?
Rephrase that. We're all lost.
Kim, let's go back. If you remember the time in between the loss and the win, right? What did you like that you felt good about that made you think that whatever happened to Rutgers could happen? And is that something to circle this week and make sure it exists again?
Yeah, it's a humbling game, and there's, everybody can get humbled pretty quick. And, I think that's what happened up at Syracuse, and we came back and we had a great week of practice, and we went up and we're pretty determined as a team, and, again, did not play good enough on either side of the ball to dominate to win the game, but we played as a team, especially in that second half. We played as a team to win and was determined to win, so coming off a loss again, then hopefully we get a bunch of guys that are together, that pull together, that practice well together, that travel well together, that are pretty motivated in the hotel room, and that all root for each other to be successful when the game when the game kicks off, and cheers for each other when good things happen and picks people up when bad things happen.
Cincinnati run defense, sixth in the country, pass defense 105. What do you see between the two there?
They're physical. Their D-line is very physical. Their linebackers are physical. They play the run well. They play with effort. They're pretty good at it. And when you face a team like that, which the tape that I've seen, teams kind of get discouraged with the run and start throwing the ball more and more, which naturally gets you yards, which is why they're not as good in defending the pass as they are the run, based on how many plays people are running the ball as opposed to throwing the ball. So they're good against the run, but that doesn't affect us at all. We're going there with the same game plan that we normally do.